Hi, everybody. I'm Gavin Callaghan. I'm the leader of Basildon Council, and I'm delighted to say that today I'm joined by an inspiration, really, to a lot of people, Matt Riggs, who has done an amazing bit of work. You may have read about him in the papers. You may have heard him on the local radio. Matt has an incredible story about weight loss and about getting fit, getting healthy. And for a lot of us, lockdown has not been too kind to the waistline. It's certainly not been the most healthy of environments for a lot of people, glued to their Zoom calls all day. But on the 12th of April, we've got our gyms reopening, and we've got more people looking to go out and get healthy, get active, as hopefully we come out of coronavirus restrictions fully in time for the summer. So Matt, it's great to have you here with us and to talk about your story. To just let people know what's your story from start to finish. When did you really start the journey that you've been on that's had such an incredible impact on your life?
Yeah, thanks, Gavin. So basically, my journey started 2019. Started in the end of March, 30th of March 2019. My journey started, and obviously up until now, I've actually trained, every day since then. 733 days I've trained. Since I started the journey. So I'll give you a little back of how it's all began, really. So it all started at my son's football match. Me being 24 stone 9, not being able to walk from one football pitch to the next on a five-a-side tournament. One of my good friends basically just said to me, Matt, you need to sort yourself out. You're out of breath from one pitch to the other. You've got kids and wife and everything else. You need to sort this out. And I knew deep down maybe I needed to sort it out, but it was one of those things that I could live with. I was enjoying myself. I thought I was anyway. And then it was only on the Tuesday that my son was being learning in school about the body and everything else. And he must have had it on his mind, but he asked me, Dad, are you going to die? And I said to him, why would you say that? Why would I die? And he said, well, because we've been learning about the body, and you must be struggling. You're over he said you're fat. That's when your kids are blunt. They don't know what they're saying. He said you're fat.
He did well on Facebook.
Yeah,
he did well on Facebook.
Yeah. So I just sort of that did it. Well, I just said to him, calm him down. No, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. But it broke me down. I literally broke down and had me in bits. And I thought, well, I'm going to take my friend's offer up. I'm going to go to the gym, even though I'd spent the previous 72 hours thinking how was I going to get out of going. All of a sudden, I was pretty keen to get going, but I was scared. He was getting me to Rip Gym in Basildon, and all I knew was it was a weight gym. It was going to be full of muscly guys, and I was panicking. But my fears were soon eased the minute as I walked through the door. To be fair, and yeah. From there, I've not looked back. Obviously, we've had lockdown, but I've just cracked on, and I've lost 11 stone 1 since joining the gym. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
You just said a word there that I think a lot of blokes around the borough can identify with. You said scared. That prospect of going through the doors to a bunch of 20-something-year-old fellas standing there in the mirrors flexing. The thought of going and standing there and starting from scratch, it's scary. And I think for a lot of blokes, we might have been thinking about getting on some form of a health kick for some time. Mm-hmm. For you, it was for years, wasn't it? You were thinking about it before you took that step.
Yeah. Oh, I tried them all. I tried all the diets, anything to keep the missus happy, really. I strung along to Slimming World. I strung along to Weight Watchers. I've done the Atkins diet. I've done them all. I tried everything. I tried the 5-2 diet, this diet, that diet. I've tried the magic pills. They don't work. There is no magic pills, magic potions, and nothing like that. You have to just give it your all. I mean, when you look like this to start with, and then, that picture just motivates me every day, just where I've come from. So it's scary, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
But what you're describing is the physical activity of going to the gym is one thing, but what you're describing is that mental barrier that you've broken down and the mental stimulus that photo gives you every single day. How much of what you've done is about mind over matter?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, your mind's a powerful thing. I mean, I never would have dreamt about going to a gym, especially especially Rip Gym. But I was scared. I mean, I think you put yourself off. You come up with an excuse why you can't do it. Or there's always an excuse, no matter what it may be. You just scare yourself out of it, and you just whatever keeps you happy. In your own head, you just carry on with that, and you tell everybody the same thing. You tell yourself that, and I just think, now I've done it, my mental health has changed. I mean, didn't realise how depressed I was. I was so down in myself. I mean, now I know why I was drinking. I would drink in the evenings, and why I would eat that food. It was comfort. It was make me feel good. It would get me. But now the weights make me feel good. I feel absolutely amazing when I'm doing my weights, and it's that, I know I'm doing good for my own body and doing good for my family. My kids see it. It's positive for them. Even my kids now, they're like 5 and 8. They want to, Daddy, when we're old enough, can we come to the gym with you? I mean, it's just amazing. So it impacts you massively.
So you found that substitute, the dumbbells rather than the burgers really is what's done it for you. But when you think back, and for some guys watching this across the borough now, they might be thinking, perhaps they've slipped into bad habits, perhaps, something, I think about myself, I used to be quite physically active, but I'm nowhere near as physically active now as I was when I first became a councillor back in 2012. And you kind of sit there all day on Zoom calls, and before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night, and you want to go to the gym or you want to get active, but you can't. How did you kind of, firstly, get into the position you were in, and what was it that was triggering you really to do that? And then, like, for now, how have you made your daily routine center around the weight training that you've done? Because I saw your thing earlier on Instagram about consistency, and I was well impressed, and also thinking, I can't remember the last time I closed all my rings on my watch. So, talk us through that.
I think, obviously, at the start of it, I mean, the training itself, how I got, or how I got from being the big guy to the fit, of the healthy guy. I mean, it started off being the unhealthy guy would be a consistent of wake up in the morning, McDonald's drive-through on the way to work. Then it'd be a McDonald's or KFC or something like that for lunch. Then it'd be on the way home. Sometimes I slip through a drive-through of something. Then I'd have my dinner as well on top of that. This is on, what the wife had cooked. And then I would eat, start drinking. Then you get hungry. Then it'd be a kebab. And then before you know it, you've done 4 takeaways, and you can't, you're not tracking any calories. And I think you don't really care. So obviously turning myself around from my son triggering me to get to the gym, and being pushed by a friend, I then decided that, okay, I'm going to have to set an hour. Originally, I said I'm going to set myself an hour a day to train, and my hour a day was going to be what I would focus on my workout. So that hour, I wanted to train my body. So that is what I wanted to do for that hour a day. And basically, I just kept on going at it. And I'd make sure I'd go straight from work, because I know, I don't know anyone else, but I know that if I was to go home, then that'd be it. I wouldn't be going anywhere else. So I made sure I took my clothes, know that I'm going straight to the gym. That's all part of that. Then became part of my routine, going from work to the gym. In my mind, I knew that was my little plan. If I was to go home first, then I don't think I would have actually succeeded how I did. And then obviously, because I did do that, when the lockdown hit, I just carried on with that routine, but obviously at home. So I made sure that same hour that I'd train at the gym, I would train at home for that same hour. And it has become a little bit more than an hour, because as you start, as any hobby, as you start getting more involved in it, you want to try and do a little bit more. So,
and that's interesting, because like some people, I think about people I know who, you've got to find a way of making it sustainable, haven't you? And that you're going to do it regularly, because I know some people who, once they get themselves on a health kick, they're up at 6 o'clock every morning, and you kind of think one late night and that's going to go wrong for you. So you've managed to make it a sustainable thing. And look, gyms are opening on the 12th of April. People are hopefully going to go back, start getting more active, start getting out there. What I've seen you going around this borough, not running, not walking, but doing a different form of cardiovascular exercise. Do you want to tell people what that's all about?
Okay, so yeah, so I weren't a fan of running. Never ever really been a big lad, but I am a fan of skating. So when I was younger, I've always skated. I dug my skates back out again, and I've been doing in lockdown. I started skating. Started off with a mile and a half. That got up to about 3 miles, and then the first lockdown, sort of by the end of it, I was doing 12-mile skates around Basildon. People looking at me like I was absolutely Fruit Loop, but
I was going to say, how much
good.
abuse did you get for doing that?
Yeah. People look at me like I'm absolutely crazy, as if I've come out of the 80s, got my headphones on, and when you record skates, everyone just looking at me like I'm crazy. But my heart rate's up, the calories are burning. I know it's doing the good thing, so I know it's working. It definitely worked.
So there you go. If you see Matt on his skates going around Basildon, don't bib the horn and don't shout abuse, because it's all for a good cause. It's all working well. And look, finally, Matt, we've got the gyms opening on the 12th of April. What's your message for anybody, whether they are whatever part of their health journey they're on, people who are sitting there contemplating going back to a gym or joining for the first time? What's your message to them as we come out of this next phase of the lockdown?
I'd say go in there. Don't be scared. I mean, it's easy for me to say that, but I have been there. Don't be scared. Get yourself into a gym, whatever gym it may be. Take it easy. No one's staring at you. No one's looking at you. I found out that everybody's got their own story. Everyone's in there for their own reason. Most probably the same thing. Everyone wants to get a little bit healthier, a little bit fitter. Whatever the goal may be that you're trying to work towards, just even if you put your headphones on and just get in the gym. I mean, honestly, do your own thing, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And before you know it, it becomes a part of your routine, and you wouldn't be without it once you start seeing the benefits. So just don't be scared. Get in the gym.
Good. Great message. Well, look, Matt, you're brilliant for Basel, and you're brilliant for your family. Congratulations for everything you've achieved. I know you're going to carry on, and you'll be back in Rip Gym, which, there are other gyms in Basildon, but, Alpa and Crystal, Rip Gym is certainly the best one. Also in Pitsea Northwest as well, which has got a great counsellor. But anyway, it's great to speak to you tonight, Matt, and thank you for what you're doing to share your story and to inspire other people as well. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.